Welcome to the Marvels, Mysteries and Midlanders podcast. Prepare to take a dive into all things mythical, eerie and downright strange. Stick around. You might just enjoy yourself. How are you feeling? How are you feeling?
I got COVID.
And you've grown a moustache by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Check you out.
I'm quite impressed with the growth. It's only like 3 days.
You've even got like a chin thing coming on.
Yeah.
Chin strap, yeah.
Who knew that all Lewis Carter needed to grow a decent bit of facial hair was COVID-19?
COVID-19.
COVID-19. So despite that, Lewis, how are you feeling? Are you is it knocking you about?
No, all right. I just can't taste or smell it, so I probably stink.
I mean, I'll say
I
this.
wouldn't know about it.
Looking at you, you do look like you stink. You look like you've got that.
You look like shit.
You look like you've been gaming for 36 hours straight.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Yeah. Nothing diet, probably nothing but mini cheddars and cold cups of tea. Maybe even just milk out the carton, just straight out, warm, lukewarm, room temperature milk.
Milk out the carter.
No different. I couldn't smell it. I couldn't. If it was off, I wouldn't know.
Have you left the house at all?
No.
Good. Following the rules. Good. Have you gone to your garden at least? You wanted the garden?
Yeah, I've been in the garden.
Did a few circles around the garden. Oh, what's happening out here
Captain
today?
Tom or...
And Adam, how are you? Mr. Intellectual, there we go.
I'm doing very well, thank you, James. I've had the notorious freshers flu for a couple of days.
Oh, yeah.
That's been fun.
So, to anybody who isn't from the UK, freshers flu is... maybe there's like a freshman's flu in America. Basically, it's when the first week or two of university, Adam, it's just a non-stop party, isn't it? Really, and
it's a party in the USA, Miley Cyrus style. But there's no off button.
No off button, and also like when you're 18, you can probably survive it quite well.
Yeah, I mean,
because Lewis has got his
I'm
arms
pretty
in the air for
pretty
some
close
reason.
to 18.
Oh. Yeah, yes, Adam. Yes,
You
are.
fucking boomer.
So everyone, welcome to Marvel's Mysteries and Midlanders. I'm James, joined by the beautiful COVID-ridden Lewis Carter and the probably still drunk, muscular lady killer Adam Daly. And we've got a great episode today planned. I'm excited. So obviously, as you know, if you are following us on podcast, we're in the month of October, which means we're doing spooky stuff, and we've been hassling you, or should I say I've been hassling you repeatedly on the Instagram, basically, guys, in case you didn't know this, asking people for their strange stories and experiences so we can talk about them, read them out, and basically spread awareness and definitely not rip them to pieces.
Yes.
Great. Thank you for that. So,
you did warn them that we weren't going to be ripping into them.
I didn't warn anybody anything. I just said give us your stories. So as you've all received your story packages from myself, you're ready to go.
Story package, yes.
You're all good because hey baby, it's October.
Spooktober.
It's Spooktober, and I hope to get to know you.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
So yeah, who wants to go first? Because we might as well jump right into it because people want stories, and you can't hold back from that. You know, we need to give them what they want.
Starting.
You up for it, mate?
I'll start. I'll take one for the team.
Start, man. Take one for the team.
Okay.
Remember, pace yourself. Enjoy yourself. Just
enjoy the story.
Let the air flow. You know,
the spooks. I actually think my building's haunted as well. By the way.
Oh, you can tell us about it. Tell us about that. Come on.
Nice little helpful tidbit that will shoehorn us into the episode.
I'm ready to get creeped out.
Yeah, there's this room that is just locked. Like no one's claimed the room. It's 605. Basically, I live on the 6th floor, and this room.
Is it on your hallway? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then every so often the door will just randomly open. Like
What?
We'll try and open it and it'll be locked. So someone has to come upstairs, unlock the door. No one's stuff's in there. and it will just be open. And then sometimes it will be locked, but no one's claimed the room. No one actually has the room. The door will just open.
Have you gone in it?
I studied in there the other day.
What?
Yeah, I was
I
like,
ain't afraid of no ghosts.
I don't want to
studying.
stay in my room all the time. So I was like, 605 is open. I'm going to go do some work in there.
I'll move to an identical room.
And then I put up
Study in there.
an It poster, an It 2 poster, and it's just got Pennywise's face. That's literally, it's like a pure white poster, and it's just got Pennywise's face smiling. I put it on the wall.
Hope you're doing your study.
So when anyone concentrate now, Adam.
Make sure you get that first, Adam. Oh, good. I'm glad. So basically, you've got 2 rooms now.
I mean, it's a communal room. We've kind of, I claimed it as a study room, and then everyone sort of thought it would be a good idea to have a communal room. But it's locked now again, so until it opens again, we can't go in there.
That is kind of creepy at the door.
Yeah, a little bit creepy. But anyway,
any atmosphere in the room?
no, it's just chill. I mean, some people that are more susceptible to the paranormal may be able to feel something. I do feel the occasional like touch on my leg though. Do you know when you feel like you've just like passed a bit of a cobweb and it's just touched you, but there's like no cobweb or anything, and I'm like, oh.
Just this like a drunk girl just
Human
stuck on the
contact.
floor. She's like, "Hey,
Yeah, true.
you left me in here."
I have a story from Rose Brennan, and I haven't read through this yet. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go in raw.
That's a lovely way to introduce the story.
Anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Adam Daly going in raw.
It doesn't help that the first sentence is, "This is something I actually experienced myself as a young kid." Anyway, okay. So this is
summer memories.
this is Rose Brennan's story.
Okay.
This is something I actually experienced myself as a young kid. I went around my friend's house for a sleepover when I was around 8. It's important to note that whilst I was a bit nervous about being separated from my parents for a night, I was a clingy kid. I have never been afraid of the dark, and I certainly didn't know what demons were at that age. It was so fun. We played Lego, pretended to be dinosaurs, ran around this huge garden until we tired ourselves out. Then it was chips and pizza for tea and hugs with his new puppy. Despite the night going well, I was still quite nervous about the sleeping aspect. I got upset, and my friend's mum sat with me for a while before coming up with a wonderful idea. I was quite a nerdy kid, and there was a meteor shower occurring that night. She took me to a room with a clear view of the sky, and we watched the meteor shower. Well, we were meant to. At first, the room is just a room. It's dark, but that's because we want a good view of the sky. I feel safe with my friend's mum and in her house, and I've calmed down a lot. However, I soon get the feeling of something watching me, something really, really bad. Like that chilling feeling when you think or realize you're being followed down a road at night. I keep looking behind me, half expecting my friend's dad to jump out as a prank. Nothing happens. The room is deathly still and silent, unnaturally so, and is much colder than the rest of the house. As soon as we leave the room, I feel like a weight has been lifted from my chest and I sleep soundly. I don't think much of it until nearly a decade later when me, my mum, and my spiritual neighbour are discussing ghosts. Mum brings up my friend's house, an old Tudor mansion from the 1500s. She jokes that loads of people must have died there, before explaining how my friend's mother actually had a medium come to visit after unexplained happenings around the house. This occurred after my sleepover, and this was my first time hearing the story. What are you two laughing about? I've got these 2 fuckers, right, on the side of my screen, and they're just having little... I think it's because I'm swaying in my chair. I'm swaying my chair back and forth as I read this delightful story.
Yes, discuss the story, though, because... Yeah, okay, basically Lewis was gradually getting closer to the camera, and I started doing some sort of hip rotation like that.
Are you in your boxers?
I am in my boxers. I'm wearing a sweater and boxers.
Oh my! You couldn't even be asked to get changed for this, could you?
Look at this.
I don't want to look at your. I don't want to look at your cooch hair, man. Anyway, the story is not over.
Yeah,
The
back
story's
to
not
Rose's.
over.
Sorry.
So the medium couldn't sense anything in the house, but was suddenly drawn to a room at the back of the house, which I horrifyingly realized was the same room that I had my experience in. She began to sob uncontrollably without even entering the room and ran out of the house. My friend's mother found her collapsed on the gravel driveway outside, mumbling about something bad in that room. Normally, I'd have brushed that off as someone hamming up a spiritual experience or bad feeling, but given my experience in the same room, I clarified with the mother that it was indeed the same room. I was shaken. To this day, I have no clue what it was. I've never felt anything like that since. I've had interactions and feelings of ghosts, but I've always felt calm and safe around them. It's for that reason that I'm convinced this was some sort of demon or truly begrudged spirit. That was Rose Brennan's story. Thank you, Rose Brennan.
Thank you so much, Rose. Really appreciate you sending it in. So, what's your thoughts on that?
I've never really felt that like evil presence in a room before. Especially not in 605. 605 is pretty chill.
Just a drunk girl, yeah.
I mean, apparently she's a drunk girl now. But no, I've not really had like a evil experience at all.
I think the only time I've felt like a feeling of being threatened by something that isn't necessarily, and it wasn't in just a room. It was, I had to travel somewhere once, and it was in an area just outside of Wembley, and I pulled up, and then it's like my fight or flight response just kicked in instantly. And now Adam's showing his thigh off on the webcam, which is
It's not nice, is it, James? Huh? It's not nice.
I gave
It's
it the
very
fuck-
big, that is, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh, come on,
very
boys.
big.
Come on. Let's discuss
Very,
evil.
very big. Yeah. Yeah, but I got. We've seen each other's crotches and thighs. It's Lewis's turn now. We're going to get back into the story.
I've got jeans on. Well, trousers.
I think
And
it's interesting that like ghosts or spirits or demons can like flick your fight or flight, and that's what causes like the panic. That's quite interesting.
That's the thing, because like obviously Rose says that she thinks it's a grudged
Yeah.
spirit or a demon, and I can see what she means. I mean, I feel like the term demon is thrown about a lot more now because of like the Conjuring films and the paranormal activity films, because it's never a ghost anymore. It's always a demon of some sort. But I do think, I know obviously I don't know where you guys kind of lie with believing in ghosts, but I definitely feel like there are ones that just seem to have a lot more. There's a lot more sinister side to them, because
I'd like to believe in them, but I just can't. Like,
you've not had your experience, have you? You've not had.
yeah, I
experience
need
of it.
that. But even if I was to have an experience, I'd logic myself out of it. Like I'd be like, oh no, it must be this. It must be this.
Don't
it's almost
be
like
doing that.
my stupid human brain will not let me believe in the spiritual.
Stupid human brain.
Just because I can't, like, I don't want to be that way. It's just what I've been all
No.
my life. Like, it's almost like you have to use this little scientific method to tell yourself like what it actually is.
Yeah. Would you want to see a ghost?
Oh yeah, if someone said there's a fucking ghost in that room, I'd be like, "Fuck, let's see, let's go,
Let's go, mate. Yeah, let's go.
Hey,
let's
old
go,
mate.
mate. Hey, up, me.
Yeah,
You want a drink? You want a ciggy?
Come on, mate. I got some great stuff here, mate. Come on.
Oh my god, pack of menthols in the bag. Come on, let's get rid of them.
Right, you, Lewis. How do you feel about Rosie's story?
The room. What happened in that room, do you reckon?
Well, that's the thing.
True.
What did happen? The fact is that woman ran out of the house and she was collapsed in
Yeah.
like a.
To be fair,
Distraught state.
if I was like exploring a room with a spiritual medium or anything similar, and she literally just bolted out of the house weeping, crying, I'd be like, do you know, even if she's putting it
How
on,
unprofessional.
fair play. How unprofessional. Gee, keep it together, woman. What must the demons think?
Well, exactly. Well, that's what they want, isn't it? Well, demons are all about getting that soul, baby. They're all about wanting that soul. So, Rose, I'm glad that you got out of that nasty. I'm glad you didn't have to live in that house or
True.
live in that room permanently. Because
We know that she's still, she hasn't been taken by the demon / ghost because she said
as
the
far as
story
we
over.
know, as far as we
Anything
know.
after that, we don't know.
I left out the part at the end where she goes, and it took my soul 1 year today. Whoa. Right then, next story. Lewis, you want to go next?
Yeah. I've got Tara Barnes' story. We know Tara, don't we?
Tara Barnes is Lewis Carter's #1 fan. Big big lover of Lewis Carr. So shout out to Tara Barnes and Carly Latham. I always get the second name wrong, and I apologise for sending your stories in from the Haunted Housewives podcast. So yeah, Lewis, jump into your lady's story. We love you, Tara.
So, it's from her perspective. So, I was 10 years old, and every year our school would have these big fundraisers around Christmas time. We would get this packet of wrapping paper and little goodies people could order, and if we sold a certain amount, we would get prizes. For the record, I'm a shit salesman and I never won anything.
Oh.
But I still tried. I lived in an apartment complex at the time, so my friend and I would team up and go door to door. I knocked on one door and there was no answer. I knocked again and heard, "Hold on, just a moment," in a very soft voice. A few moments later, the door opens and this sweet old lady...
Hold on, love, I'm coming. Hold on, I'm coming.
Hey, this isn't America, right? Tara's
yes,
from...
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm coming.
Hold
It needs to be softer voice.
Hold on, I'm coming.
I'm coming, dear, don't go.
Come, sweetheart.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, so this sweet old lady comes to the door. She reminded me of my grandmother. I gave her my best speech and she chose a few things. She said, "I would love to get these things, but I don't have my wallet handy. Come back in a couple of days and my son will be here. He'll take care of you. Good luck."
That's just a typical
And off
way.
I went.
Yeah, that's a typical way to get rid of someone. Really? Oh, I'll come back in a few days. Have some money, and then you get there, and then
Got no money on me, mate.
No money.
Got no money. Got no money.
Could've
I would
been
just
worse,
show
though.
them... I'd just show them my overdraft statement.
Take it all, son.
I'd be
Take it
asking
all.
for jobs. I'd be like, do you need any help with this? Or?
At least she didn't turn around to Tara and go,
You're a shit salesman, Tara.
You're a shit
Now
salesman, Tara.
get off my doorstep.
Get off my damn property.
"Trespassers will be prosecuted."
Oh, fucking bunny. Was that the bunny man?
Trespassers, you're gonna make
God,
me real
no.
mad.
No.
There you go. That's Bunny Man.
I can't
Sorry.
hear the bunny man's voice.
Lewis, continue.
I did as she instructed and went back to the apartment to collect. A man opens the door.
I've come to collect.
I said, "Hello there. A few days your mum picked up a few things for our fundraiser but didn't have her wallet. She told me to come back and see you and said you would take care of it." He looked at me a bit confused and he says, "Are you sure you have the right address?" I looked at my sheet which required the address for delivery and yep, it was correct. The man, still looking at me with confusion, says, "I'm not sure how that's possible, to be honest. My mum's been dead for years."
Oh,
shit.
Eh?
That's very not pog.
Not what?
It's very not pog.
What the hell is very not pog?
You don't know what pog is?
Maybe was it an old toy called Pogs?
I mean, there is an old toy book called Pog, but the
Is
cool
this
kids.
Is this some sort of Welsh slang you've picked up?
No.
living in Wales
The cool kids of the internet who follow like all the Twitch chats and everything. No, my boys will know. My boys and girls will know. That wasn't very Pog. You're a memer as well,
Okay.
James. You should know this stuff.
Yeah, you haven't explained what it means though. You've just said that cool kids.
You can't explain. You can't explain what it means.
You've got it. Well,
It's
why?
It's just
unexplainable.
not very pog.
Thank you, Lewis.
Does that mean it's not kosher? Something like that.
It's just not Pog, man. It's not Pog.
What does it mean? It's not pog.
Oh,
What's
these boomers. These boomers.
I'm like 2 years older than you. Leave me alone.
Fucking boomer.
But yeah, that is that the end of the story though. Sorry.
No, anyway,
sorry.
after he said that, Tara says, "I just stood there a bit embarrassed. As I extended my apologies and turned to leave, he said, let me see what you're offering. I don't want you to go away empty-handed.
Top guy.
He looked at what had been chosen and said, well, I like what you've already got down here. I'll take it. And then he wrote me a check and off I went.
A check? That check's definitely bouncing.
I like what you've got down there, little lady.
I think he means on the sheet. I think she means on the sheet.
Yeah, I know she does. I know, because otherwise that story just took a very dark turn.
Wow.
Yeah, well,
She goes on to say, I'll never forget that. It was one of the most real interactions I've had with a spirit. I feel that was his mother's way of letting him know she was still around.
yeah, I can see that.
I still do wonder to this day what he thought when he closed the door.
Do you think
She is a
this
shit
guy-
salesman.
Do you think this guy just like dresses like cross dresses on the weekend or something?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know what you mean. Like a woman? No.
Not around here for a while, mate. Sorry.
Oh, you mean Mystique? Wow, she's a different kind of gal. There's an old woman somewhere.
But I think with Tara's story, I think it's more of a nicer compared to Rose's story. It's definitely got a nicer kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least
sentiment
the
to
ghost demon lady was willing to buy something as well.
Well, I like how you call her a ghost demon lady. Just
Well, you know,
just call her
I
a
don't
friendly
even
spirit.
know. Don't even know at this point. But the fact that he paid check is, nah, you don't pay check for a little. How old was she? 10.
Tara was a little lady back then.
Yeah, she was 10, right?
Maybe
What
it's
the
a
fuck's
thing in
10-year-old gonna do with a
America,
check?
paying check.
She's gonna go to the bank and cash it.
Yeah, no, the scouts.
She probably doesn't even have an account. She doesn't have an everyday saver account, does
The
she?
Girl Scouts will probably take it, and then it'll bounce for them. And
Their fucking accountant's job after that.
so yeah, but thank you, Tara, for that story. That's fantastic. I think it's nice to have those, like I spoke about before in the past, where I was saying it's kind of nice to know that they're kind of still there, you know, no matter how the sign's put to you. I'm getting all spiritual with you guys again. But yeah, thank you, Tara, and thank you, Rose, so far. Right then, do you want to hear a story from me, guys?
Yes.
No.
Oh, okay. We'll leave it there. Thanks for listening, everyone. This story comes from Louis D'Amato, and he's called it The Gin. As a boy, I remember the odd occasion when I would wake up in the middle of the night but couldn't move or speak. In reality, this paralyzation would only last seconds or minutes at the most. However, during the experiences, time seemed to slow down and feel like hours. These episodes were torturous, especially for a child who didn't know any better or understand the world like I do now. To make matters even worse, sometimes when these night terrors happened, there felt like there was a presence in the room with me. Sometimes it would watch from the shadows, other times it would be sat on the end of the bed, and in the worst cases, it would be perched on my chest, making it difficult to breathe. During all of this, I never got a good look at my attacker. He or she was always obscured by darkness or appeared fuzzy and out of focus. It wasn't until over a decade later at university in London that these night attacks would reignite in even more aggressive fashion. This time, however, I was older. What's this business?
Fucking karate chops, man.
A night attack.
Oh, no. Karate again, yeah. Just getting tied down in bed and getting karate chopped, yeah.
You trying to bet yourself?
They said it'd get more violent.
Yeah, it's true. I wish I could show. Just imagine Lewis just aggressively karate chopping with both his arms. And
Yeah, imagine Lewis being your sleep paralysis demon, just started karate chopping you. That would terrify the shit out of you.
It just come up close to your ear and go, "You're right, Doc." And that's it. That's you.
Just at the end. Right.
You're right.
I don't get it.
You bloody do get it, mate.
I don't get it.
But yeah. This time, however, I was older, wiser, arguably, and keen to fully understand what was happening to me. On this journey of discovery, I would find out that sleep paralysis affected millions of people worldwide, and that a lot of the testimonies perfectly matched what I was experiencing. Going further down the rabbit hole, I would find out that although sleep paralysis is a genuine medical condition, very little is actually known about it. Have either of you ever had a sleep paralysis experience?
I have never had a sleep paralysis experience, no.
No.
I thought I had a little one the other day, you know.
Really?
But then I tried to move and I couldn't.
Yeah, that sounds just like just like one, mate.
Just like, oh.
So you didn't see any like figure or anything. You just woke up and couldn't move for a second, and then you could.
Well, I just thought, I feel like pretty weighed down here.
Yeah.
And then I moved.
You were too efficient at waking up, Lewis.
Yeah.
Wow. Absolutely thrilling storytelling there, Lewis. Thank you. In typical internet fashion, though, there were plenty of different theories and ideas about who these nightmare intruders were and what they were after. In history, specifically medieval times, the sleep paralysis demon was associated with the succubus demon, Lilith, from the Bible, who is supposedly the original first wife of Adam. She didn't take kindly to being Adam's muse and soon absconded the Garden of Eden to find her own path, eventually giving birth to all of the monstrous creatures of folklore and fairy tales.
Wife of Adam, eh? I don't remember getting married.
God's sake, man. Vanity knows no bounds. In this modern era, sleep paralysis has been commonly linked to alien abductions and UFO sightings, proposing that these events were actually the remnant memories of an extraterrestrial home invasion. While an interesting theory, my experiences suggested something much older, darker, and more of this world than outer space. Eventually, I stumbled across the author and researcher Rosemary Ellen Guiley, who makes an incredible case for the true identity of these malevolent beings as the hidden jinn. Jinn spelled D-J-I-N-N. The jinn, or genies, are spirits or demons of Islamic and Arabian mythology. They originate in an alternate parallel dimension to our own, but are able to see through the veil in our plane of existence and even on occasion cross over. They were supposedly created by God before humans, but after the angels, out of the smokeless blue flame. Therefore, angels are light beings, jinn, fire beings, and human earth or clay. In my most prominent sleep paralysis experience, I awoke in my bed in the middle of the night to a lurching black silhouette on top of me, who then proceeded to choke me with two hands.
He's smiling.
Mate.
He knows why.
Yeah, I do know why. Yeah, but still, we've got to take this seriously. Come on now. I've lost my place now.
You were getting choked. You were getting choked.
I'm choking right now, mate. Yeah. I tried to scream, yell, lash out, anything, but nothing seemed to work. The more I tried to fight, the more weak I seemed to become. Eventually, I remembered what had helped me when I was a child, praying or calling out a holy name. I tried it again this time, and amazingly it worked. After repeating these holy words and names a few times, the energy seemed to bring me back to life, and I woke up, jumped out of bed, and ran to the door. I switched on the...
What was the holy words?
He didn't say, he just said holy names or praying. So
Jesus!
Yeah. Jesus! Jesus!
Help me, Jesus!
Jesus!
But if you're like experiencing sleep paralysis, you can't talk though, right?
I'm guessing you can, because apart with Sin, because I know in the Haunting of Hill House she has it, and she can still kind of mumble. She still goes, Jesus! Jesus!
No, that's horrible. That's horrible.
I switched on the light, but nothing was visibly there in my room, although I definitely felt some sort of presence. The main thing that stuck with me, though, was the feeling around my neck, as if someone had literally been choking me in my sleep. Louis, thank you so much for that story, man. That is a harrowing experience with the jinn/sleep paralysis. Ooh,
I'd quite like to experience sleep paralysis.
Like to be choked in your sleep, yeah.
I mean, a little sweet treat during the night. I'm not going to say no.
I can drive down right now and be there for bedtime. Just go to town. Go to town on you, mate.
I've never experienced.
You want it, do you?
And I've you horny bastard. Let's go then. I've never been in a position where I've never been able to move like anything just from the.
Yeah, I know. Like, I've never had the feeling of like losing control enough to just not be. I think it's happened to me once when I felt my entire body just kind of go. But I've never just lay there and just lost all ability to move. Laziness, yeah, surely. I don't want to move. But I've never had the ability where I physically wanted to.
I just can't imagine like your brain still being asleep or whatever's still asleep but your eyes aren't open. Like you've got like consciousness and you have thoughts.
Yeah.
But you can't articulate them or move in any way.
If
That
that's the
sounds-
logical standpoint, yeah.
That sounds quite fun. I would like to experience that at least once.
I wouldn't like to experience that at all. Anyway, what about you, Lewis?
He's experienced it. He experienced it this morning.
That was the only
The story, not your
experience I've had.
experiences.
Oh,
I
Oh, what
don't
did I
care
think of the
about your,
story?
your crap sleep paralysis experience.
Oh.
Garbage.
it must be terrifying though. Like,
Yeah.
it must be terrifying.
With him being like of a fire element,
Mm-hmm.
how did he come to that conclusion? Was it because just the way he looked? Or...
Well, he was researching into it, and one researcher, that Marianne, I think, Guiley, I think her name was, she said that sleep paralysis demons may very well be, jinns, and then
Okay,
gave a
yeah.
background. I mean, obviously, if you say, because some representations of jinns they're literally completely made of fire, so in that case, Louis would be getting his throat burnt while he's getting choked, but maybe in this case, because they can kind of cross over planes, it was literally just like a shadow version of a jinn. And
I think that if I had sleep paralysis and this fire djinn was strangling me, I'm quite a warm person anyway, and I don't really sleep with the quilt on. And if that made me hotter, I think I'd be more bothered about that than him, like, choking me.
do you mind, mate? It's bloody boiling in here.
And I just find it like I'll say it, I'll find it a major inconvenience. And for that reason,
Fighting words, boy.
fuck djinns.
Yeah, Louis, thank you so much for your story, man. That was I appreciate you giving us such a personal story. I imagine it couldn't have been nice for you. Yes, obviously we're jesting about it, but we've not experienced it. But I know I definitely wouldn't want to experience it myself, personally. But
You
yeah,
know who we are by now.
yeah.
We're gonna
20
take a few
23
jabs here and there.
23 episodes in, mate. We're just knobs, isn't it, mate? We're just knobs. Marvels, mysteries, and Midlanders.
Well, James, I have a story from Carly Latham. I think I said that right, and you didn't.
Oh.
If you listen to this, Carly, I can say your name perfectly. It starts off by saying, my story includes a lot of pieces. Ghosts and weird dreams, maybe coincidence, but also maybe two. Several months ago, I found myself completely obsessed with a ghost woman. I found her by accident during a ghost hunt and spent weeks trying to unravel her story. My co-host, Tara, helped me piece together who she was. The details I was stuck on was the nature of her relationship with a man named Joseph. From what we could tell, there was some sort of love affair going on, but it was also possible that he was just super into her, in a creepy stalker way. The night in question, I fell asleep thinking about her. It was a restless night. I kept waking up and looking around as if expecting... I fucking hate you two. You two are such fucking bastards.
It's turned now into this whole... The person reads the stories, and whilst we intently listen, we're also trying to distract them from reading, so... Yeah.
I kept waking up and looking around as if expecting to see someone standing by my bed. Of course, no one was there, but the feeling of the presence was incredibly strong. I finally did fall asleep and had the strangest dream. In my dream, there was a man who I knew in real life. He's never been anything other than respectable, but in this dream, he gave me the creeps in a big way.
Ooh.
Big way. Too friendly. Way too friendly.
Oh.
A hand rested on my leg.
Come here, little Carly.
Come here, little Carly. You're my Carly now.
Would you like to see my wine cellar?
A hand rested on my leg for too long. The type of thing where you scoot away to get more space and they scoot closer. During this process, I woke up and felt very much like I wasn't alone. It was hard to sleep that night. The next morning, I mostly forgot about it until my 4-year-old daughter said, "Mummy, who was the woman standing by our bed last night?"
Oh, no.
Shit. Literally shit the bed.
Oh, shit.
I've shit my bed. Mommy, who was the woman standing by our bed? Oh, that was Patricia. She was changing the sheets. I shat myself. I tried to play it
Who
cool.
was the lady taking the sheets last night? Did you poo-poo yourself?
Oh, fucking hell.
Accurate rendition of
That was
Carly's
pretty
daughter
much,
there.
yeah. Well done for mimicking Carly's daughter.
Thank you.
I tried to play it cool and ask follow-up questions. Oh, really? What did the woman look like? My daughter looked at me and said, she had dark hair like yours. It was puffy and a blue dress with roses on it. I told her the woman sounds pretty. Did she seem like a nice woman? And my daughter said, kind of nice, kind of not. I'm still not sure what that means. I think since I was so invested in unraveling her story that the dream I had was her way of showing me what her experience with Joseph was like. I might have brushed it all off as coincidence if my daughter hadn't seen the woman with the long dress standing by our bed that same night. And that was from Carly Latham. Let me repeat that again. Carly Latham. Thank you very much, Carly.
Well,
I got chills. James, if you hadn't have done the impression of Carly's daughter, I wouldn't have goosebumps right now.
Mommy, is it Christmas Day? I saw Santa standing over the bed.
Is that Carly's daughter? Or is this like some demon Pennywise again?
I don't know. Merry Christmas, guys. Yeah.
Fair, that is a good Pennywise.
Thank you. I've definitely not.
That's who it was.
This guy. This guy.
You bastard.
If you shit on my reputation anymore, Lewis, I get more creeped out when hearing stories about like this. When someone says, so like obviously the main person in the story, in this case being Carly, them being told that someone was standing by the edge of the bed. Like rather than you going, oh, there was someone at the edge of my bed. It's still creepy, but the fact is that you were completely unaware and there was someone standing at the edge of the bed. But then also you've got the angle that because her daughter seen it, young daughter, 4-year-old, innocent, witnessing this figure standing there, that could have potentially been harmful. It adds a more of a chilling angle to the story, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't like... it's creepier when it comes from kids as well.
There's somebody waiting outside.
Yeah, like if a kid came up to me, just a random kid. It's like, let's say like one of my...
How you doing, mate? You all right?
One of my nieces or nephews came up to me and was like, Adam, there's someone like standing at the end of a garden. I'd be like...
That point blank. Adam...
Adam.
Like it's a real inconvenience.
Adam, there's someone standing in the garden.
I mean, you're just nailing these impressions of kids in general.
Really not.
But yeah, if they said like, there's someone standing at the end of the garden, I'd be like, that's your problem now. I am not going to investigate that.
Sounds like a kid's job to me, mate.
Good luck with that.
Goodbye, Ruby. You are never to be seen.
You're a demon food. The thing is about this guy in the dream as well, this creeper in the dream.
It's creeper.
Yeah, it's creeper in the dream.
Minecraft creeper. Fuck your house up.
Let's see. But yeah, he was a creeper. Okay, this dream molester. Is that better, or attempted molester?
Dream molester, yes.
It's supposed to be a nice bloke, wasn't he, in real life?
In real life, but not in the dream. He wasn't. He was hands on.
Creepy weirdo.
He was hands on.
He was a Tom Fiddler.
That actually was his name. So, what did you guys think of the story overall?
The fact that we know, obviously, Carly makes it scarier.
We're so sorry it happened to you, Carly.
If it was one,
I think the ghosts knew each other.
Yeah, it was actually the lady ghost was the old man's wife, and she was like, "Are you messing about again, Tom Diddler?" And she was actually just trying to get into Carly's dreams to pull him out and be like, "Stop diddling children again," So.
Oh, like a Tommy, is it Freddy Krueger? What's his name? Freddy Krueger?
Freddy Krueger. Yeah, Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger. Welcome to your nightmare, bitch. Yeah, that guy.
To your nightmare, bitch.
Right, then. It's now Lewis's turn for the next story. What you got for us, big boy?
Okay, this is from Lao Wings. I think I pronounced that properly.
Probably did, mate. Since everyone else is pronouncing better than me tonight.
Okay, so...
Okay.
What am I missing? Something.
Okay. He was waiting for us to
here we go.
Okay.
So, I'm not a suspicious man at all, but this one story that I cannot explain. So, I was spending Christmas with my mate's family at their holiday home, which was in the middle of nowhere in the bush. In the bush. This sounds like
Australian story, man.
Australian. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he is. I can see Australia later.
He also
later
said
on.
the word mate, so it was half and half.
All right, mate.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, mate.
There was about 10 of us with the 2 uncles who would be turning up the next day. Anyway, the place that we were staying was old. I'm talking at least 150 years old, and it was likely used by some of the first white settlers to Australia.
My unkies are coming over. Yeah.
All right, mate, I need this room. My Yankees are coming over.
Here comes Unky Lou and Unky Kev for a good time. All right.
I've got a bush ticket trial for you tonight.
So in one of the rooms of this 150-year-old house was this old closet type thing. Think of a wardrobe from Beauty and the Beast. Well, I can't really picture that. I don't know if you do.
I can't. I can think of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. But
Yeah, I
not-
can. Yeah,
not
but Beauty and the
yeah.
Beast.
Is it the talking? Is it the one with
Okay.
the face that talks?
I imagine it's very
Maybe,
difficult.
that's what I'm thinking.
Hiya, mate. How's it going? Having fun with the lads, are we? All right.
So there was that wardrobe, and that was the room that the youngest was going to be staying in because it had a single bed. The youngest kid was about 5 years old and was the son of one of the uncles that would be turning up the next day. So anyway, I was walking around the house and I heard the kid talking to someone in the room. I thought someone was there, so I walked in and said, "Hey, who are you talking to?" The kid replied, "I'm talking to Charlie.
Can you do the
He
accents?
lives in the
Can
closet."
you do the accents accurately, please?
Oh, right. I can't. I'm not going to attempt it. I'm talking to.
I'm talking to Charlie.
I'm talking to Charlie.
I'm talking to Charlie, mate. Fuck off.
It's Charlie, mate. Is he there?
He lives in my closet. And he's my friend. We're going to play more later. That's what this 5-year-old said.
That's good. That kid has got age. He's got wise. He's wise for his age. Sounds it.
Naturally, I thought it was just him playing around and making up an imaginary friend. So the next day, when we were having lunch and the uncles turned up, I said to him to tell his father about his friend. When the kid said, "Oh, that's just Charlie,"
So aggressive.
Oh my God, Charlie, mate. Like Charlie the kid, even. Calm down, man.
we're going to play later on. The father grabbed
Who
his
said
arm
that,
and
sorry?
the kid.
Oh, it just didn't sound like him at all. Sorry.
We're going to play later
So-
on.
Play later
We're
on,
going to
mate.
play later on, mate. The father grabbed his arm and said in a kind of panic tone, "Where's Charlie?"
Was he? He sounded drunk. Yeah, that was definitely a drunk dad.
Where's
What
fucking
does he look
Charlie?
like?
Where's Charlie, mate?
The kid responds, "He lives in the."
What was that? Was that Scottish? He lives in the. He lives up there.
I think everyone is drunk in this story.
I know. Oh, sorry, go.
You know it is there
Yeah,
because it's a consistent voice.
It's true. Yeah.
He lives in the closet in my room, and he has this long coat on. Both of the uncles jumped up, whoa, and ran into the room and dragged the closet outside and set it on fire.
What the?
Then we left really quickly.
Oh my God. I'm guessing
I
they.
asked both of them, WTF, and what had just happened.
WTF, man? What the fuck?
Yeah, that's good.
Oh man.
They said we used to play with Charlie as well when we were boys, and he always tried to get us to come play with him in the bush away from the house. So whatever happened, it was enough to scare the shit out of two grown men when one of their sons mentioned an imaginary friend with the same name who lived in the closet.
It was enough to make him jump up and beat the crap out of a wardrobe, yeah. Oh my God.
I mean, if you're that scared of something, you're like, no, mate, we're going to set this on fire now. Timmy? I don't know his name. Timmy, we're going to set you on fire now, mate, all right?
Unkies, WTF you do? That's my favourite cupboard.
It's my nephew you're trying to haunt.
So they obviously didn't have good experiences with Charlie.
It seems like it really brought something back for him.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. Yeah. Some kind of strange ghost child PTSD.
So this story now is called The Orphanage Girl. It's from Amy, who is my sister. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I guess
thank you, James's sister.
Yes, thank you, Amy. Whenever I have to recall the story, it instantly sends up goosebumps on my arms. And potentially poo in my pants. Lol. Thank you. Thank you.
Amy, come on.
Oh. This is a family show for sure. However, I remember it clear as day. I think it was about 7 or 8 at the time, and it was August 13th. I remember the date as it was my second eldest brother's birthday, which is me. That's
Happy
my
birthday, James.
Thank you. What? That's on your birthday?
No, get over it, mate. Right. I remember the date as it was my second eldest brother's birthday, and my dad had taken him to town to get birthday presents. Thank you, Dad. We were living in a two.
So we ain't got you anything for your birthday. We're gonna go to town.
Dad, why? We were living in a 2-bedroom flat. Living in a 2-bedroom flat at the time. I was too young to understand the whole thing about ghosts and spirits, but following this experience, it was hard to ever be skeptical on the subject ever again. My mom was in the living room watching good old Trisha. It was about 10 a.m. I went back to bed to go to sleep. I'm not sure whether I had broken sleep the night before, but anyway, I went to sleep with no issues and I woke up. Not aware of how long I'd slept for, I looked at the end of my bed, as you do, and there was a girl floating on the end of it. No, she wasn't floating like these Halloween cartoons. She was just there, dead still, in the air. Before anyone says, oh, you were dreaming, don't even go there with me. From a young age, I was aware of the difference between a dream and reality, and this was so real. But yeah, she was floating. She was black and white, her clothes were filthy, and she was wearing a pinafore dress above the knee. It had patchwork all over it and was covered in dust and just general crap. Her hair was brown with a full fringe, and she was looking straight at the wall, not me. I recall freezing, not being able to move or scream for my mum. I knew she wasn't there to cause harm, but I could have done without it. Eventually, I got the courage to try and get out of the room, but I vividly remember not being able to open the door. I'm not sure whether this was a lack of energy due to the shock, or she just wouldn't let me. I ran into the living room, and I kid you not, my mom's words were, "You look like you've just seen a ghost." This experience completely opened my eyes to the spiritual side of things, and now that I've got older, it makes me think, was she trying to tell me something? However, an interesting fact relating to this story is that my old infant junior and primary school, which is just over the road, had been built on an orphanage. Looking back, maybe we were the same age and she felt she could relate to me. I'm not sure. But regardless of that, I hope she's now found peace.
Oh, that was a nice way to end it.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for that, Amy.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Floating orphans.
Floating little ghost girls. Waking up, seeing it floating above you. Not pleasant.
Was it like directly above her, or was it like at the end of the bed?
It was at the end of the bed, but it was floating in the air.
Was it coming towards her?
No, it was static, just there, floating,
okay.
staring forward.
Here's a question.
Okay, go on. Liz.
Ghosts, right?
Yeah.
Are they the age of when they die? So let's say if you die as a child, are you a child ghost?
Well, that's it's kind of touched on in very different ways, because there's one saying where when you die, your spirit is as you died. One is how you want to look, so in your prime, basically, the hottest, youngest you ever were, something like that. And there's others where ghosts can physically...
Now then.
Yeah, exactly. We're at prime. And then there's the other one, which is basically they can kind of filter in between different ages. I've heard in stories.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, the general one I follow is that you look how you die.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if we are to follow those rules, the young girl unfortunately, didn't make it very far before dying.
Does that mean there's going to be like ghost babies out there?
Well, yeah, because people do hear the sounds of like ghostly baby crying. It has been said in many stories, so it wouldn't.
Imagine just seeing a ghost baby like at the end of the bed just shit itself. And you think, and then like a maternal instinct kicks in. You're like, I've got to change this. I've got to change her.
Hands go right through it. Whoa!
What do I do? How haunting would that be, Lewis? I don't know.
Would it be floating?
But if if
a
a baby
baby-
dies and gets
A baby
turned into a
floating in the
ghost,
air, like.
yeah, and you just see the ghost shit all over your floor.
I like of all this story. Thinking you get into the subject of ghost babies, and the first thing you say is, "Oh, imagine you see a ghost baby and it shits itself on my bed."
I'm just saying, right? If you possess similar qualities in life than you do death, then a baby is going to shit itself.
How do you know that ghosts in general can do that? Because they're no longer eating, are they? They are just.
What else is a baby going to
Energy.
do apart from cry? It's going to shit, of course.
It's gonna float and cry. Maybe throw up some ectoplasm.
Oh, so it can
maybe.
throw up, but it can't shit.
I said maybe. I didn't
Maybe.
say. Right, on. Adam. Next story.
It's me again. Yes.
Your final story.
Okay, this is a little short story. It is by the user Perfect Blue 9. It's a nice little name. It starts off by saying, I told this story once on an old account I no longer use, so I'll tell it again. My two best friends and I went to the midnight premiere of Signs. That alone is why the three of us rarely tell people this incident. So, as we were driving down a road, we traveled millions of times in order to get to one of our homes. My friend's headlights lit up what we suspected was a dog on the side of the road. My friend slowed down because he feared the dog might run out into the road. This gave us time to better make out the features. The creature was on all fours, had no tail or even fur, and was a solid charcoal colour. But then when we were maybe 20 yards away, it turned its head and looked at us. It only had a pair of eyes and no mouth. When we reached about 10 yards away, it stood up and walked into some bushes. I actually cried. I was so terrified. I actually cried. I was so terrified by what we'd seen. What made it feel the most real, though, was that none of us said a single thing until we reached my friend's house. We were all so uncertain at what we'd seen, and we couldn't bring it up until my friend turned off his car and looked at me. We knew then that all three of us had seen the same thing. Never knew what it could be, but we're all damn near 40 and still don't really talk about it. So some strange, mouthless demon dog is on the road.
It could have been like a cryptid, like a creature. It could have been like a mangy bear or something.
True.
Black Panther.
Or it could have been a black. Yeah.
It could have been not. Was it like the literal Black Panther, like the superhero? Or?
Chadwick Boseman's
no.
Black Panther.
Black Panther.
Speaking of Signs, actually, it reminds me of when I first watched that film. Have I ever told you the story of when I first watched Signs?
I think you said it in one of your episodes.
Yeah.
Me and Lewis zoned out.
Yeah. And basically, we watched the film for the first time, and obviously it scared me a bit. And then straight after, we had a massive power cut, and I was like, "The aliens are coming!" And that was so that was a good experience. Like it could, that shaped me as an individual. But yeah, I think if if you think about it though, if you come across like a strange animal, a threatening looking strange animal, unlike anything you've ever seen before, in the dead of night, you would actually cry.
I mean, I don't think I'd cry.
No, I'm joking. I'm commenting on what you said earlier. But no, I definitely would run. I'd run for sure.
Run in the car.
Yeah. So I just got an image of someone sitting in a seat just doing this. Not the car isn't moving, but they're just running their arms.
Would you not be fascinated though? Would you not want to know?
I would be, yeah. It depends on how threatening it come across, because in the story it doesn't attack them. They just see it, and it looks gnarly and it scares them.
They didn't have torches
Free
and phones back then. Free roadkill. We're eating good tonight, boys.
I'd say turn full beams on. Let's get a look at that.
Go full beam.
Change the mode to full beam instead of dick beam, please.
I thought you said dick beam then.
Please change. Nick Bean, please.
I don't want dick beam. I think I would like instinctively just punch it. If I was pretty certain that it was like a no-gooder.
This creature's up to no good.
Oh, he's up to no good.
No gooder.
He started charging at me. I think I'd counter-charge. I'd counter with charge.
Cross counter.
And
Counter.
and then I'd go for a little swing, and then the first swing is the one you can judge. Can I take this? Because if it gets back up for it, or if you miss, then then
You'd swing, miss, and just use the momentum to turn around and move from the punch. Whoa!
Yeah,
and I'm out of it. Yeah. I think I remember once when my wife scared me, and it was a perfect show of what I'd do. She jumped out from around a corner. And my first instinct was to fall to my knees and go, ah! Like, just for a second. So if I'm in that situation, I'm screwed, mate. Just begging for my life. I literally, my legs went limp.
Drop to your knees.
My hands got, stroked down the front of my body, and I went, ah! Yeah. Ah. Yeah, if you scare me and I fall to my knees, you got me good. Got me good.
Are you all right?
Right, Ryan Lewis, your story.
Okay, this is from Monkey Night 94.
Let's hear it, Monkey Night. Monkey Night.
Monkey Night. I once saw a kid in a dark alley
That's the end of the story.
that became me. Oh, right. Sorry, I was a bit confused by the sentence. I once saw a kid in a dark alley that became me on a late night. Yeah.
I wasn't sure Kid Ali fucking came on me. Dirty fucking bastard.
I'm struggling with that sentence, I must say. I'm going to read it verbatim. I once saw a kid in a dark alley that became me on a late night walk home.
Okay.
Do you get that? I think he just saw a kid in a dark alley.
Yeah, that was behind him, maybe.
I grew up in Mexico, a tiny town in the middle of nowhere before the gang cartel violence got bad. Pretty safe, everyone knew everyone kind of town, so kids were allowed in and out anytime. It was in the middle of summer too, so I definitely stayed up way past midnight playing soccer with some friends and cousins. My entire life there had been an abandoned house about half a block down from my house.
So we're in the mean streets of Mexico.
So yeah, we're on about the abandoned house that was half a block down from my house, which I had to walk by. I don't remember how old I was or what the weather was like, but I do remember there was no moon or it was cloudy. The only light coming.
You okay,
the only light
Lewis?
was from the street lights. The stretch. I'm having to ad-lib.
Okay.
I'm having to add words. The stretch between the corner house at the opposite end of the street I lived at and the two houses down from mine was always dark due to street lights not working. At the abandoned house, there was a huge mesquite tree. They can grow incredibly huge. That would always block all light shining on that house. So it sounds like it's in the pitch black. Making things even creepier was the fact that the house itself looked like your typical haunted house with the windows smashed and everything falling apart. The house itself had no real fence at the sides, but rather
really struggling
7
to
or
follow
8
the
foot tall walls.
I'm sorry I've put you through this, Lou.
Well, okay, well, what I've gathered from it so far is that there's an abandoned
Yeah.
house. It's not very well
Okay,
lit by the
okay,
street lights, and it looks like your typical haunted house with windows smashed and everything's falling apart. The house itself had no fence at the sides, but rather 7 or 8 foot walls from the houses at either side. Had carved behind it. In short, very creepy and very dark. There you go. Very creepy and very dark. Being a kid, I would usually stick to the opposite side of the street, trying my best to stay away from the house. This particular time, it was not possible due to construction going on nearby at the nearby house. Piles of materials left on the sidewalk, very common thing to do in Mexico. The neighbour's car also blocked the sidewalk, so I was forced to walk in the middle of the street.
Disgraceful.
Finally made me stop and turn to face towards the house. Standing next to the house in the dark was a random kid who I'd never seen before. He kept calling for me and asking to play. I was frozen in fear.
Kid, let's play, man.
Hey, kid.
All I could say was,
You want to play some games, kid?
over and over.
No.
No.
No. Don't think so today.
No play. It reminds me of the Family Guy sketch with what's her name? What's the maid called?
Consuela.
Consuela. She's,
No, Nico.
I couldn't move and even forgot to breathe. It's never good when you forget to breathe, is it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure why I didn't notice right away, but it was perfectly visible, even though the house itself was in darkness. He's glowing. He's had his ready break.
he's at his ready break.
Yeah, man.
After a few more attempts
He's
from
on
the
these
kid,
ready break.
come over here. That looked about my age, by the way, which we don't know what his age is.
Let's go with. Yeah.
He took a few steps towards me. As he did, he changed somehow and looked exactly like me, but with anger in his eyes.
Can you show me anger in your eyes?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
The kid's voice deepened and he shouted at me to go play with him. I mean, can we get any deeper voices? We've already been doing.
Go play with me.
Go play with me.
Go play with me, man.
It sounded like he was frustrated. I have no idea what happened, but all of a sudden there was a sound nearby, somewhere behind me. His gaze finally broke contact with mine, and I just ran.
Hey, where
As
you
I
going,
ran away.
man?
Play hopscotch, man.
As I ran away, I felt lighter somehow. Ooh. And the usual sounds of the night became...
I like this feeling.
began to come back. I didn't dare look behind me out of fear that I would see the thing again. I don't know what it was, but I never saw it again, though I did refuse to walk back by that house for a long time after that.
Hey, man.
I would instead walk around the block. The only reason I didn't that night
some Pokemon
was because it was incredibly late and I was trying to get home quick.
You never played Blade, man. Let's smash. It's great. That's a... Yeah, I wouldn't want to make like a chameleon version of myself or an evil, angry-eyed clone of myself. I mean, meeting myself as a clone would mess me up.
You're bad enough.
Exactly. Two of me.
Two.
An angry version of me would just be out of control. Completely out of control. Right, and so I know you guys have got to shoot off soon, but I've got one more story for you.
All right, go for it.
All right, let's go. Let's do it. So this is another one from the the Chew family vault. This is from my nana this time, but I know 2 of my stories have been family based. But
have you just been like harassing your family for the past few weeks? Been like, tell me some ghost stories.
come on, you've got some. Yeah, basically, yeah. So my nan, bless her, 80 years old, in Wales in the late 60s, early 70s, in a cottage in Penandry. So basically, this story is kind of noted down differently because it's just some experiences my nan had. But basically, in this house where they stayed, a lot of weird stuff happened. And one of the things was kind of like poltergeist activity took place in this house. Like stuff was being thrown about and stuff like that. And one night, my aunt, who at that point was a baby, they basically came to pack up and she was in the cot. And in the same room where she was, because in the house, the men slept downstairs and the women slept upstairs. And basically in the upstairs room, there was this wardrobe.
Right.
And inside there was this constant rustling sound from inside.
Was it Charlie?
Exactly, it could have been. But there was a rustling noise from inside. And then in the corner of the room, my nan said she could feel someone watching her from the corner of the room.
Ooh.
Yeah, every time I tell this story, it gives me goose pimples because it just really creeps me out.
Goose pimples.
Goose bumps. Hen flesh. This my nan said that this was the first time she'd ever felt anything like this. After sitting down for a cup of coffee later in the day, my granddad, who was there also, mentioned something strange about that room in particular to my nan. He said he felt a presence intently watching him from the corner of the room, and also, again, heard this rustling from inside the wardrobe. In the same bedroom, though, just to make it a bit weirder, the bed was in the center of the room. It wasn't in the corner or in any corner. The bed was just
I don't like that.
Yeah, it was in the center of the room. I think it
went up against the wall
not
or
a
anything.
single wall in the room.
That's not very feng shui, is it?
Exactly. It's not very kosher. So this bed was just directly in the center of the room, which, like, I guess in normal circumstances, maybe you could get away with it. But because of there's this corner where something's watching you, just it sends a chill up my spine. It's horrible.
They can't get away with it and that.
No. That corner, mate. No. But yeah, so my nan decided to ask her mum about it, my great nan, about, what the reasoning was for it. And she told her not to worry or think about it. And on one evening, a strange pinkish light kind of flew and grew lighter and dimmer, like a pulsing pattern almost through the hallways of the house. Kind of like a corpse candle, like we discussed before on the Morph episode.
Oh, yeah.
Again, in Wales as well. So, the light drifted through the house. And at the same time, my young aunt stood at the top of the stairs in some kind of trance. This house as well was in the country. So there was no chance for light pollution or passing cars to kind of, shine through the window and make a strange illusion effect. It was in pitch darkness. And this light came through the house. Whilst at the same time, you've got some God knows what staring at you from the corner of the bedroom. And the bed in the middle on its own. It's just a horrible mix. When it finally came time to leave this sinister house, my nan and family were packed up in the car, ready to go. My granddad had to pop back into the room to grab one last bag. And whilst he did, he heard a cough from the corner. From that corner, yeah, like a... He heard a cough come from the corner where this entity was watching everyone in there. Yeah, it honestly, I'm covered in goosebumps talking about it because it gives me the creeps.
Have you been there?
I've never been there, but I have these images in my head of what the house looks like, and the idea of like just a dark corner where you can't see anything, but something is definitely watching you there.
Imagine if you might push the bed into the corner.
Yeah. You hear that?
Lewis
is doing some dramatic sound effects for us. It's scary eyes. Yeah, I've got one last quick one as well. So it's from my nan as well. It's another one. So my great nan used to have a flat on Mandy Close in Wolverhampton, and when my nan visited there,
Wolverhampton,
way, Wolsey way. My nan visited there to check up on the flat whilst my dad was a child, as my nan had a spare key. Before she entered, she went ahead before my dad could properly enter, and my nan heard the sound of a voice coming from inside. Upon further inspection, the voice changed to a raspy sound of breathing, like someone struggling to breathe, or like a lung condition. Before my dad could
smoker's cough.
Yeah, kind of like a really bad smoker's
like a wheezy,
breathing. Yeah. So my nan went in and could hear this, and it turns out my nan wasn't even in there. There was no one in the flat. So that's just like, and before my dad even had a chance to walk into the flat, my nan grabbed him under her arm and sprant to the shops where my great nan actually was. So there was something in there. And in this flat as well, my great nan actually said when she was very ill, she awoke whilst resting to see a nun standing over her, and like temperatures would drop in there. And also on one occasion, people seen a cupboard open up and a mustard pot just come out and float across the room. I know you're doing the cross fingers, but it's not good. But it turns out that this place was actually built on a home for wayward girls, ran by nuns. Not sure about the wheezing, breathing, but the nun stuff checks out in that regard.
So about the mustard pot.
Yeah. So basically, a cupboard. A few people were there. A cupboard opened up.
What kind of mustard was it?
I'm not sure. Didn't get
Dijon?
We'll go with a whole grain mustard for this particular story.
All right.
Great Nan, if you can hear us, I'm sorry if I got it wrong. So yeah, the door opened and a fair few people were there witnessed.
That's wrong, James. It's not whole mustard.
But yeah, she's seen it. Everyone's seen it just float out the cupboard. I'm not sure if it dropped or went, but yeah, everyone's seen it. So yeah, that's my nan's experience, or some of my nan's experience. There's a lot of spiritual stuff in my family, a lot of stories like this. We haven't even got to I haven't even told any of my stories today. We've run out of time, but I definitely would like to, do that at some point.
We can have another little Spooktober episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
Personal accounts of the spirit.
But yeah, guys, thank you for reading the stories. It's been wonderful, and thank you to everyone who has sent their stories in. We're very grateful that you chose to send them in and give us your personal tales. It's very, very kind of you. Apologies to everyone who we couldn't read out. We just didn't want the episode to go on for too long. But there is always next time. This isn't a one-time thing. We will definitely be doing listener stories again, so do not despair. But yeah, guys, what was your favourite story?
I liked, although it was quite butchered in places. I like the Mexican house. I like Lewis's Mexican accent and his Australian accent as well. No. Has to be Charlie. Has to be the two uncles getting the cupboard, throwing it out, setting it on fire. Charlie, you don't have any friends, mate.
Charlie, definitely.
Yeah, Charlie's a winner chicken.
Charlie,
mate. Charlie, get in the wardrobe.
Get in the wardrobe, Charlie.
But yeah, I think one of my, because I don't really want to pick favourites, unlike you two, because.
But you just said, what's our favourite?
Fucking
got you there. No. I think my favourite one is, I think for like a positive, because a lot of the stories obviously we read were fairly dark and negative, so I have to appreciate Tara's story for the nice kind of, oh, you're not alone, I'm still here kind of vibe to it.
That is nice.
Yeah, that is nice. But yeah, I think everyone did a great job on submitting the stories. I think it's interesting as well because there are similarities between the stories. Like obviously in Rosie's story, she mentioned like a presence in a corner. But yeah, any parting thoughts, gents?
To be honest, the most haunting thing about this whole episode has been seeing you in your fucking boxers.
I've got a sweater on as well, okay?
Is Hannah at work?
She is at work.
What she must think of you?
Probably. No, she wouldn't be surprised. Usually I walk about in my underwear. Literally.
Okay.
Literally, get home, everything's
Lucky
off,
girl.
underwear, just nature boy. She's desensitized to it now.
True,
My
true.
body means nothing.
Well, my parting words.
Heating flex.
Yeah, it's heating. Yeah, imagine having that good a fucking central heating. You can just walk around your fucking building.
Oh no, the heating in this flat is not good, but I choose to suffer for how I exist. Huh? So yeah.
Just from marital nudity.
So if you you surprise me on an evening, I'll lightly answer the door in my boxers and a dressing gown. So, yeah.
Hello, Adam. Oh, hello, James. You're naked. Oh. Hopefully, we get some more in, and we can
Yes, please do.
have some more yucks and some gaggles.
If this episode's inspired you to send a story to us, do contact us at marvels.mysteries@gmail.com. That's marvels.mysteries@gmail.com. And also, if you want to message it to us via Instagram.
Instagram? Yeah. What's the Instagram, James?
No. It's just so adamant. You do it.
No, I'm just waiting for the slogan. I'm waiting for the little
There we
catchphrase.
go. You can find us on Instagram at Midlanders, or MMM Midlanders.
Midlanders. There we go.
So yeah, if you got any stories or want to contact us in general, do go there and see all our stuff. Hope you like it. But until then, guys, thank you to you, Lewis Carter. Thank you to you, Adam Daly.
Thank you to you, James Stew.
It's actually James Alexander.
I've just doxed you hard, my friend.
But yes, thank you to both of you. You've been fantastic. And until next time, guys, this is Marvel's Mysteries and Midlanders. Thank you very much and enjoy the spooky season so far. Bye-bye.
Good night. Good night.
Good luck.
Oh, phlegm.